Welcome to our deep dive into the agentic era of AI.
Okay.
You sent us some really interesting stuff about how AI is evolving,
Yeah.
from research papers to industry reports,
Right.
and even some science fiction that imagines where this is all heading.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be unpacking the idea of software that's not just smart, but acts smart,
Mm-hmm.
learning, adapting, and even collaborating like a
Yeah.
partner.
Yeah. One of the key things that distinguishes this new era is the emergence of what we call agentic AI.
Okay.
Traditional AI is mostly about analyzing data and providing insights, but agentic AI takes it a step further.
Right.
It's about giving software a degree of autonomy,
Oh, wow.
empowering it to make decisions and take actions independently.
So instead of just giving us answers, these AI agents will be able to act on those answers. What
Exactly.
kind of impact will that have on the software we use every day?
It's going to be transformative.
Hmm.
Imagine a world where your project management software not only tracks your tasks, but also learns your work habits and suggests optimal schedules or even predicts potential roadblocks.
Okay.
Or think about a customer service chatbot that can go beyond answering basic questions
Yeah.
and actually analyze customer sentiment to proactively address issues before they escalate.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
It's like having a superpowered assistant working behind the scenes to make our software more efficient
right.
and user-friendly.
Exactly.
But how will this impact the SaaS industry specifically? I'm
Um,
curious to see how this plays out in the real world.
Well, for starters, Agentic AI will supercharge personalization.
Okay.
Imagine SaaS platforms that tailor themselves to your specific needs and preferences,
Mm-hmm.
learning and adapting as you use them.
Right.
This could revolutionize everything from e-commerce to education.
You've hit on a point that really resonates with me.
Yeah,
I'm constantly tweaking settings and trying to customize the software I use to fit my workflow.
sure.
If AI could handle that for me, it would be a huge time saver.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But what about the companies that build and sell this software? How will agentic AI impact their business models?
It's going to force them to rethink how they generate revenue.
Yeah.
Instead of charging for software licenses,
Hmm.
companies will need to adopt outcome-based pricing models where customers pay for the results the software delivers.
Hmm.
This means the focus will shift from simply providing software to delivering tangible value and demonstrable outcomes.
That's a pretty significant shift.
It is.
It's like the difference between buying a gym
Yeah,
membership and paying a personal trainer to help you achieve your fitness goals.
exactly.
But I imagine this also has huge implications for the people who build this software,
Yeah.
the developers.
Yeah.
What does the agentic era mean for them?
The role of the developer is definitely going to evolve.
Okay.
Instead of writing every line of code from scratch, they'll need to master new skills like working with large language models or LLMs.
LLMs. For folks who aren't deep in the tech world,
Sure.
can you unpack what those are?
Sure, LLMs are a type of AI that excels at understanding and generating human language.
Okay.
They're the technology behind chatbots that can hold natural conversations and AI writing assistants that can generate different kinds of creative text formats.
Hmm.
In the agentic era, developers will use LLMs to build software that can communicate and interact more intuitively with users.
That's fascinating. So instead of coding every single interaction, developers will be training these LLMs to understand and respond to human language.
Right.
Does this mean developers will become less important in the future of software development?
Not at all. In fact, their skills will become even more crucial.
Okay.
They'll need to become adept at AI orchestration, which is
Yeah.
basically like conducting an orchestra of different AI agents to achieve a specific goal.
Okay, I'm picturing a conductor leading a symphony,
Yeah,
but instead of musicians, it's different AI agents each playing their part.
exactly.
Can you give us a real-world example of how this AI orchestration might work?
Think about a smart home system. You might have different devices like lights, a thermostat, and security cameras, all controlled by AI.
Hmm.
AI orchestration ensures these devices work together seamlessly based on your preferences and the current environment.
Okay.
For example, the system might automatically adjust the lighting and temperature based on your schedule and the time of day.
Yeah,
Or it might alert you if the security cameras detect any unusual activity.
that's a great analogy. So instead of writing code for every possible scenario, developers will design these systems to be flexible and adaptable, with AI managing the complex interactions between different components.
Right.
It seems like this could make software development much faster and more efficient,
Exactly.
and it opens up a whole new world of possibilities in terms of what software can do.
Yeah, definitely.
This agentic era is starting to sound pretty exciting. But before we get too carried away with the possibilities, we need to address the potential challenges.
Mm-hmm.
We've talked about how developers will need to adapt their skills, but what about the broader impact on the software engineering profession as a whole?
Mm-hmm.
Will everyone need to become an AI expert?
It's a valid concern and one we'll dive deeper into after a quick break.
Okay.
But I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool.
Okay.
And like any tool, it can be used for good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to us as humans to guide its development and ensure it's used responsibly.
That's a great point, and one that I'm sure will spark some interesting discussion when we return.
Yeah.
We'll be right back to continue our exploration of the agentic era of AI, so stay tuned.
Okay.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about how this agentic era is changing the game for software developers
Yeah.
and how this powerful technology needs to be used responsibly.
Uh-huh.
It seems like a lot to adapt to.
It is. And it's important to remember that this shift isn't about replacing humans.
Okay.
It's about humans and AI working together.
Hmm.
Each has its strengths.
Yeah.
Humans bring creativity, critical thinking, and an understanding of ethical implications.
Okay.
While AI offers speed, scalability, and the ability to process massive amounts of data.
So it's more like a partnership where AI augments human capabilities.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this collaboration will redefine software engineering.
Okay.
Remember that concept of composable software architectures we touched on earlier?
Right. The idea of building software like Legos, using modular components.
Precisely. In the agentic era, these components will become increasingly sophisticated,
Hmm.
with each agent capable of performing specific tasks autonomously.
Okay.
Developers will assemble these pre-built agents to create complex applications,
Yeah.
much faster than traditional coding.
So instead of writing thousands of lines of code,
Right.
developers will be more like architects, designing the blueprint and then snapping these intelligent agents together.
That's a great way to put it.
Right.
And this approach makes software incredibly flexible and adaptable.
Yeah.
Need to add a new feature,
Yeah.
just plug in a new agent.
Okay.
Need to modify existing functionality,
Yeah.
simply reconfigure the agents.
It sounds almost too easy.
It can.
But how would all these different agents communicate and coordinate with each other?
That's where AI orchestration comes in.
Yeah.
Developers will use special frameworks to manage the interactions between different agents, ensuring they work together smoothly to achieve the desired outcome.
It reminds me of an air traffic controller, making sure all the planes land and take off safely without colliding.
That's a good analogy. In a complex software system,
Yeah.
you might have agents responsible for user interface, data processing, security, and more.
Okay.
AI orchestration keeps everything running smoothly and prevents conflicts.
This is a whole new way of thinking about software development. It sounds incredibly efficient.
It is.
But what about quality control?
Yeah.
How can we be sure these AI-powered systems are reliable and do what they're supposed to do?
That's where the human element remains crucial.
Okay.
Developers will need to rigorously test and validate these systems, just as they do with traditional software. And they'll need to be vigilant about potential biases or unintended consequences that might arise from AI decision-making.
So even in this highly automated future, software engineers won't be out of a job.
Right.
In fact, it seems like their role becomes even more critical, ensuring these powerful systems are built and deployed responsibly.
Absolutely. The demand for skilled software engineers with expertise in AI will only increase.
Okay.
They'll be the architects, the conductors, and the guardians of this new era of software development.
It's incredible to think about how rapidly technology is evolving.
It is.
It seems like every day there's a new breakthrough or innovation. What are some other trends we should be watching for as this agentic era unfolds?
One trend I'm particularly excited about is the increasing accessibility of AI tools and platforms.
Oh.
We're already seeing no-code and low-code platforms that empower people with little or no coding experience to build their own AI-powered applications.
That's really interesting. So you're saying that even people who aren't software engineers will be able to harness the power of AI to create solutions and build things.
Yes.
What kind of impact could that have?
It has the potential to be truly democratizing.
Mm.
Imagine a world where anyone with an idea can bring it to life.
Wow.
Whether it's a small business owner building a customized marketing tool or a student creating an educational app,
Yeah.
This could unleash a wave of innovation and creativity as people from all walks of life tap into the power of AI.
Right.
But as with any powerful technology, we need to be mindful of the ethical implications.
I think that's a great point to end on for this segment. We've covered a lot of ground from the nuts and bolts of how agentic AI works to the broader impact on the software industry and beyond. We'll be right back to continue our exploration of the agentic era, so don't go away. We're back and ready to continue our deep dive into the agentic era of AI.
Okay.
We've been talking about some pretty big shifts in software development, with
Right.
developers working more like architects and conductors,
Yeah.
orchestrating these intelligent agents to build amazing things.
Exactly.
And before the break, you mentioned how AI tools are becoming more accessible,
Yes.
even for people who aren't coders.
Yes, and this is where things get really interesting.
Okay.
Imagine a world where creating software is no longer limited to those with specialized technical skills.
Okay.
Think about a teacher who wants to build a personalized learning app for their students,
Hmm.
or a small business owner who wants to automate their marketing efforts.
Right.
With these new AI-powered tools, they won't need to hire a team of developers. They can do it themselves.
That's a really empowering concept.
It is.
It kind of reminds me of how the internet democratized access to information.
Yeah,
Now, we might be on the verge of democratizing the ability to create and innovate with technology.
exactly. And just like the early days of the internet, there's a sense of boundless possibility.
Yeah.
We don't even know what amazing new applications people will come up with once they have these tools at their fingertips.
Mhm. It's exciting, but I also wonder about the potential downsides.
Sure.
Earlier, we talked about the need for responsible development
Uh-huh.
and ensuring that AI is used for good.
Right.
How do we address those concerns in a world where anyone can build AI-powered software?
It's a critical question, and there's no easy answer.
Yeah.
One important step is to make sure that education about AI ethics keeps pace with the technology itself.
Okay.
We need to ensure that everyone who uses these tools understands the potential risks and responsibilities that come with them.
So it's not just about teaching people how to use the tools.
Right.
It's about fostering a sense of ethical awareness and responsibility among all users.
Precisely. We need to encourage a culture of thoughtful development where people consider the potential consequences of their creations and strive to build AI systems that are fair, unbiased,
Okay.
and beneficial to society as a whole.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But even with the best intentions, it's hard to predict all the ways that technology as powerful as AI might be used.
It is
Are there any other safeguards we should be considering?
absolutely. Transparency is key.
Okay.
We need to make sure that these AI systems are explainable. In other words, we need to be able to understand how they arrive at their decisions
Right.
and what factors they're taking into account.
Okay.
This will help us identify and mitigate potential biases or unintended consequences.
That's a crucial point.
Right.
If we're going to trust these AI systems to make decisions that affect our lives,
Yeah.
we need to be able to understand how those decisions are being made.
Right.
It's like the difference between a doctor prescribing a medication
Yeah.
and just saying, take this, it will make you feel better.
Exactly.
We want to know what's going on under the hood, so to speak.
Exactly. And as AI becomes more integrated into our daily lives,
Yeah,
it's important to have open and honest conversations about these issues.
right.
We need to engage with policymakers, industry leaders, and the public to develop guidelines and regulations that ensure AI is used ethically and responsibly.
It's a lot to think about. And it feels like we're just scratching the surface of a topic that's going to become increasingly important in the years to come.
Yeah.
As we wrap up this deep dive into the agentic era, what's one key takeaway you'd like to leave our listener with?
The agentic era is not something to be feared, but rather an opportunity to shape a future where technology empowers humanity. It's a call to action for all of us to engage with these advancements thoughtfully and responsibly
Okay.
to ensure that AI is a force for good in the world.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the agentic era of AI. We hope this conversation has given you a better understanding of what this new era holds and inspired you to think about the role you want to play in shaping its future.